We've just had an SOS call from a friend who has a Studio 360 knitting machine, and she has a broken lever on it. This is the lever that controls the paper clamp. It either hugs the paper tightly, or when this lever is moved, the paper is released. This is where the broken lever belongs. At this point, the top cowling is off of the machine. So we will remove the top cowling from a similar machine in our shop and see what can be done. We have other videos that show getting into a machine like this one in more detail, but here are a few still shots showing the screws that must be removed to access and remove the top panels. Basically, the screws are in the top of the plastic, then one on the back of the machine allows you to get the end cap off, along with two that are on the bottom of the machine and two on the top of the machine. The piece of cowling that needs to come off is actually slid under the piece to its right. With that all off, we can see how the mechanism actually works.
You may want to come.
This is the lever that is broken on our friend's machine. There's a clip that holds it in place, and Jack is prying that off now. It takes a minute to wiggle it off, and these surgical clamps are helpful. Set that aside carefully because you will want it back. Now we can go about getting the lever itself off. There are 2 silver screws and 2 gold screws. The gold screws are longer. They're the alignment screws. They come out last and go back in first. And now we can remove the lever and its mount.
All right, first of all, this was a toothbrush, one of my old cleaning toothbrushes. And now what we're going to do is look at what we're trying to reproduce here.
I can't see you till you get over here.
There's the original knob that goes this way and this way and this way. Now look at how much throw we've got. And
meaning the distance it travels.
That's right. See, this end of the slot to that end of the slot. We started out with a clothespin, but what we found out was when we pulled this off, that's not the size of the shaft. This is the size of the shaft. So here's what we got. Got to go down on the shaft, got to move freely, got to be able to attach the spring to it. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay. And so what we did was we took our toothbrush handle. We decided this was the biggest spot. And of course, you know, most of them taper in the middle. So we drilled a hole for the shaft. Oh boy, look at how smooth that is. What we found out was we needed to remove some material on the back side of it. Can you see that?
Where it looks more icy, less
clear?
Right.
Right. And I can show you with the file. We went in and we started clearing that material. See, it's smooth here.
It took up too much space.
Right. That's what I was saying. Watch how much throw you have to have. So, see now, there's our groove that we made. Now we can go all the way back and forward.
So the movement is the same as the original.
Ours might have just a hair more, but it's going to be limited by the spring. Now what we did was we took the tip drill and we figured out where we wanted our screw to go for our spring. And we drilled down. This is the beautiful part. Look at this clear material.
You can see where you are.
You can see where you are. And if you're drilling straight or not. Now, if you've got a drill press and you got a mandrel that'll hold this, then you can drill that hole straight. The way you make up for it is make your pilot hole from one side halfway and from the other side halfway. And if you keep doing that till you get up to the right size, then you know that it's going to be pretty well centered. So here we go. We've got our lever in place, and I have what here is a machinery screw short with a little flat washer on it to hold the spring down. See, normally there's a clip, just like this one, on the post that's stuck through that holds the spring.
The one that you pried off using the clamps, the surgical clamps.
That's right. Now, since this is what we're going to do, we're going to take its place with this assembly.
So I told everybody, save that, you'll want it, but actually you're not going to reuse it.
I'm not, but save it, they may want it, because there's another one here and another one there. Doodah. Let me put this on and we'll look at it again.
The official use of a tip drill is to clean welding tips. Here's what the process looks like using it for our purposes.
When it is properly aligned, this boss area is what the cap sits on. So you've got to have this space lined up so that these two are flush, and that's what we're checking. Does our throw interfere with that? We need to move just a little farther. So I think that would work, but just to be sure, I'm going to clear this area just a little more. All right, here we are in place with our spring. There's that way, there's that way, there's that way, there's that way. I'll hush, you can hear it. Click.
I don't know if it'll come out on the film, but we can definitely hear it in real life.
Now here's where we've got to go now is upstairs and make sure that this area here is in a position where it's going to open the lever, the leaf for releasing the paper. And if not, we'll build it up in one way or another. When it is properly aligned, this boss area is what the cap sits on. So you've got to have this space lined up so that these two are flush, and that's what we're checking. Does our throw interfere with that? We need to move just a little farther. So I think that would work, but just to be sure, I'm going to clear this area just a little more.
You'll wish you had spare hands to get this settled in and aligned, but it's basically a simple process. Now this insert's fine, but it's in the locked position and clearly it is not locked. And Jack's going to explain.
I'm thinking this should be the open position, and it is because we fed it in.
Very loose.
Right? But where we took some material off, right back here, it looks like the throw needs to be a little more to let that seal. And so we're going to need to get it off and take
a little
bit more
more
material off and let it go farther that way.
That way, when this moves farther, this will be clamped more tightly.
That's right.
Okay. That seems to have done the trick because now the paper is nicely locked into position. Freeing it loosens it beautifully, but tightening it back, you can't tug on it and remove it. Excellent. Checking the advanced roller, and it's working properly.
All right, what we found was this edge. I tried to make it nice and smooth, but it's just enough to free this so that it floats. Get back over there where you are.
I'm coming over.
And then, ooh, there you go. So the distance from where we drilled our hole to the end is what you should be aware of, so that, see how it fluxes that, and now we can float around and float, and now we can't.
Watch the action right down there. That's what is locking and freeing.
And you can actually look right here. That's the lock position. Watch that bolt head. Oop, see?
It's disappearing.
And it's just enough with the distance I left from the whole center to the bottom here.
Right.
And I tried to leave myself, I held the original up next to it and tried to estimate the distance. I got pretty daggum close.
Toothbrush handles are going to vary, of course, but on ours, the area Jack's pointing to with the screwdriver is where we had to slim it down.
All right, from the side closest to the inside of the machine, center of the post hole, to the edge of the implement is 5/16 of an inch. Now, if we go to the outside, and there's our little hole for the screw right there. If we go to the outside, Catherine and I had a debate. I was looking from one side, she was looking from the other side. From the center of the post hole to the outside is 3/8. I think anywhere between those two and what we're seeing is there's a 1/16 of an inch difference between the cut across there.
So in other words, the cut wasn't really precise across the toothbrush.
It wasn't, and I think what happened too was that when this threads were cut in, it expanded that edge slightly.
However, it works fine, and that's the range that you would be aiming for.
Right. So it doesn't have to be like to the micron, but that gives you an idea of what you're shooting for.